You've spent years over-explaining, rescuing, and negotiating with people who seem to love the performance more than the truth. Tonight, we try something different. I will give you one counterintuitive boundary sentence that, when spoken once with steady breath, exposes narcissistic patterns without a fight. You will also learn a recurring dream sign that shows you're actually healing, and you'll discover the exact moment when the mask loses its power over you. This is educational and not a diagnosis or therapy. In abusive situations, seek professional and legal help. Breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Imagine placing a white mask on the table between you and the past. You don't need to argue with it or polish it or make it understand. You came for your reality, not its approval. As we walk, you'll notice how your nervous system begins to choose clarity over performance, how your voice rests in your chest instead of chasing someone else's story. You'll spot the dream sign that tells you your psyche is stitching itself back together. You'll sense the precise instant the performance falters because you refuse to play the part written for you. This is the threshold. You do not need a speech. You need a center. You don't need to win. You need to wake. You're not here to convince anyone that you are real. You're here to experience your reality, calmly, completely, and to protect it with one clean sentence spoken at the right moment. One calm sentence, 3 promises, and a descent that ends in gold. What would change if you stopped explaining? Where does your breath snag when you imagine saying only one sentence? You didn't become empathetic by accident. Long before you had words for it, you learned to read weather in a room the way sailors read the sky. A lifted eyebrow, a tightening jaw, the hush after a slammed door. You mapped it all and adjusted your sail to keep peace. That early craft shaped a rare gift. You feel what others feel, and you care deeply. But gifts cast shadows. When projection and transference start steering the ship, your empathy can become a compass that points to someone else's true north. You begin to carry emotions that aren't yours, apologize for storms you didn't summon, and translate chaos into harmony at your own expense. Jungian work invites you to turn the compass inward. Individuation is not becoming selfish, it's becoming real. You start noticing the moment you leave your body to manage another's mood, the instant your yes is bought by fear, the small ache that says you just abandoned yourself for approval. Clarity returns as you sort gold from glitter, warmth from charm, intimacy from intensity, repair from rehearsed promises. And there is a sign that you're healing, a quiet shift that shows up again and again in dreams and daylight. Hold that thread. We'll decode it later. From now, feel your feet. Let your breath move without asking permission. Your empathy is still a gift. Soon, it will be guided by a center that cannot be negotiated. Your empathy is a gift with a shadow. Individuation asks you to see both. What did empathy buy you in childhood? What price are you still paying for it now? The encounter rarely begins with conflict. It begins with sparkle. Quick warmth, perfect attunement, a sense that you have finally been seen. The conversation moves fast, trust is speedrun, and you are ushered into a private theater where every spotlight angles toward them. Compliments flow like champagne, and you feel chosen. Then the choreography emerges. tests disguised as jokes, small pushes against your pace, a nudge to share more than you're ready to, and subtle edits to your memory when it doesn't flatter the story. You find yourself explaining your feelings as if on trial, offering context, offering empathy, offering yourself. These are behaviors, a pattern more than a person. The unspoken contract is simple. They perform, you supply. Your attention becomes fuel. When you hesitate, the temperature drops. When you draw a line, the rewrite begins. You're told you misunderstood. You're told you're too sensitive. You're invited to prove your loyalty by ignoring your instincts. The dance tightens until your yes feels expensive and your no feels dangerous. Notice the moment your body starts to shrink to keep the peace. Notice how the room grows smaller when you abandon your pace. There is an exact shift, a quiet pivot where the mask will lose its power over you. You won't need a smarter argument. You'll need something else entirely. We'll name it soon. The mask offers sparkle while drafting you into invisible labor. Where do you feel the first micro-withdrawal of self when the dance begins? Which yes felt most expensive afterward? Nigredo is the darkening, the hour when old light fails and the truth finally shows its face. This is not punishment. It is the composting of the story that kept you small. You realize the poison was never the person alone, but the bargain you made with unreality. If I love perfectly, they will choose clarity. You stop drinking from that cup. You take the projection back into your own hands and let it cool. You sit with the ache of all the times you smoothed storms that weren't yours, and you let the grief work on you like rain softening stone. In this dusk, you see the difference between empathy and self-abandonment. You feel the nervous system's old reflex to fix, to explain, to rush. You slow it with breath. You name the cost you paid for peace. You say the quiet thing out loud. I offered my reality to protect theirs. Then you begin the reversal. You let silence stand where defense once stood. You let space speak where apology used to run. This is Persephone's descent as initiation, the underworld revealing what daylight denied. Here, you choose to keep what is yours and return what is not. What happens next decides whether you become stone or gold. Nigredo dissolves the bargain with unreality. Grief clarifies the path. Which illusion hurts most to release? They'll change if I prove my love, or I can prevent the storm if I stay very small. The ash cools, and something quiet rises. Discerning compassion is born the moment you stop negotiating for empathy. That is the exact instant the mask loses power, when your body no longer tries to earn what must be freely given. You translate words into behavior, promises into patterns, intensity into impact. You do not cold. You go clear. You can understand someone's pain and still require accountable action. You can care and still choose distance. The river keeps flowing, but it refuses to run through lies. You begin to let silence do work that arguments never could. When reality is rewritten, you don't sprint into the courtroom to defend yourself. You step out of the building. You stop resuscitating broken agreements with one more explanation. You measure safety by consistency, not chemistry. The nervous system learns a new rhythm. Inhale, observe, choose. Like the phoenix, you burn the contract that demanded self-erasure, and what remains is a center that does not bargain. In daily life, this looks simple and strong. You slow the impulse to fix. You answer to your values, not to pressure. You leave when your boundary is mocked. You stay when accountability is real. Warmth returns without the price of yourself. This is compassion with criteria, love that refuses to be bought by harm, and it points you toward the next lesson on boundaries without turning your heart to stone. Power returns when you stop bargaining for empathy and anchor to behavior over promises. What boundary would you set if you didn't fear being called cold? When did silence serve you better than a paragraph? After the fire comes the shape. Boundaries form, and with them, a new temptation: to harden. Armor feels righteous at first. It promises safety, silence, control. But over time, it starves you of warmth and makes every stranger an enemy. A boundary is different. It's a living membrane, not a wall. It breathes. It lets in what is good and lets out what is harmful. It isn't a punishment, it's a policy for your energy. Policies are simple, clear, and repeated with calm. They don't spike or collapse based on mood. Notice when you fantasize about the perfect takedown, the speech that proves you were right all along. That's the shadow trying to heal through domination. Our aim is clarity, not conquest. So you choose sentences that clarify instead of humiliate. You choose actions that align with your values when words are ignored. You leave a room where your no is mocked. You remain where repair is real and consistent. The practice is steady and quiet. You respond. You don't react. You tell the truth without heat. You keep consequences proportionate and follow through without drama. Over time, tenderness returns, not as naivete, but as choice. You become firm and kind at once, a person whose presence is warm, whose edges are real, and whose life no longer leaks through old cracks. Boundaries protect aliveness. Armor protects fear. Choose the membrane. Where have you mistaken numbness for safety? What does firm and kind sound like in your voice? Integration begins when you stop pointing outward and turn gently toward your own hunger for specialness, control, and praise. No shame, only sight. The inner narcissist is not a villain to exile, but a frightened usher that learned to keep you safe by arranging every room around your worth. You thank it for its service and take the wheel back. This is the wounded healer in motion. You didn't choose your wounds, but you choose how you carry them now. Here is the boundary we promised. Say it once, calmly, like placing a stone. I won't argue about my reality. No courtroom, no exhibits, no debate over whether you felt what you felt or saw what you saw. If the other person pushes, you breathe, Repeat it once if needed, and then move your feet. Change the subject. Reschedule. Leave. Your life becomes the closing argument. This is where the dream sign flips. In the night forest, the mirror no longer fogs when you breathe. It reflects your face without rushing to please. At the banquet, you stand, leave a full plate behind, and the room does not swallow you with guilt. In daylight, the same shift appears. You stop chasing coherence from people committed to confusion. You become coherent. You speak less and choose more. You let silence be evidence, and you let behavior be data. You clean your side of the street and keep walking. Integration means owning your shadow and using one calm sentence to end the courtroom. What would you do after saying the sentence? Specifically, whom do you need on your support bench if pushback comes? Coronation is not a ceremony in a crowded hall. It is a steady choice made in your own chest. Gold in alchemy is not glitter. It is density, coherence, weight that holds shape under pressure. You are not waiting to be crowned by approval. You are learning to belong to yourself. Say your name back to you with a clean spine. Let a single sentence orient the compass of your life. I am the witness who honors my reality. Or, perhaps, I am compassion with a backbone. Or, I am a clear river that will not flow through lies. Choose one. Speak it like a vow you intend to keep when you are tired, tempted, or praised. Mission flows from that center. If your I am is the hearth, your daily choices are the firewood. You protect your mornings from noise. You answer messages after you answer your values. You set timelines that match your nervous system and keep them. You give love where there is reciprocity and step back where repair is refused. You practice the craft of presence, listening, naming, adjusting, resting. You measure success by integrity, not applause. You bless what you leave and bless what you build. This is the completion of the descent. You did not come back with perfect lines. You returned with a center. You are not stone. You are cut gem. You do not audition for your own life anymore. You inhabit it. Your I am becomes mission, a life built from coherence, not performance. Which values do you crown today? What daily practice protects them when you are tired? We're arriving where the journey always wanted to take you. A life you can stand inside without explaining. Take a breath and feel how simple it is to be here. You learned to step out of arguments that never end, to honor your reality without raising your voice, and to let discerning compassion guide your hands. If any part of this stirred grief or relief, let both be welcome. This work is educational and not a diagnosis or therapy. If you are in an abusive situation, seek professional and legal support. Your safety matters more than any storyline. If this episode served you, anchor the practice by engaging in a way that keeps the path warm for others. Comment your one-sentence I am statement so we can witness you. Share your dream image, mirror, sea, or ash, and name how it changed for you. Check the resources in the description for boundary scripts, safety planning, and dream work prompts you can use today. If you want more lessons like this, subscribe and tap like, not as applause, but as a way to return to this calm center when the world gets loud. Walk forward softly. Keep your pace. Choose the rooms where your reality is welcome. You do not need to argue that you exist. You get to live as if you do. Close the loops. One sentence, one sign, one moment, and a life beyond the mask. What's your next, smallest, brave action? Who witnesses you as you take it?